Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is working now. All right, so I'm gonna give you a kind of like quick crash course on how to make like decks and cards and like different features of Anki, right? And so I'm gonna try to make this quick, but we'll see because there's certain functions with like my whole screen recording that I can do, and so I only have like so much versatility. So the first thing is like, this is what happens when you open up Anki and you have all your decks here. Don't worry about mine. They're not I mean they're kind of organized, but they could be better. And so, you'll want to click create deck, right? And so I've learned from different people on how to like make decks the best way, and like you really want to be efficient with Anki because if you're gonna break down like a 100 point or 100 PowerPoint slide or like 300 PowerPoint slide, you don't want to spend like by nature you're gonna spend some hours doing that, but like you want to be as efficient as possible, right? So you want to make like decks and sub decks, which is kind of how I had. So let's say we'll call this deck tutorial, right? And by subdecks, I mean like I have one deck like musculoskeletal one for physical therapists, and I have like foundations of OMPT under that, right? Or neuroanatomy, and I have all these other things like brainstem, cerebellum, cranial nerves and brainstem, stuff like that, right? So you want to like make one main deck, which I recommend being a class, and then you want to make subdecks, which could be like different sections of the class, and then you can even have subdecks to subdecks. Like I think in anatomy too, I was getting no, in physiology I was getting super creative. Like I actually condensed all of my first semester cards into one big folder called Fall 2019. So Fall 2019 is a big deck. Then I have anatomy 1, and I remember I started doing like, okay, what are cards I reviewed? So I'll put those under there, which I don't recommend. There's a better way of doing that. But like I have Anatomy 1 lecture now, and I have subdecks under that, like forearm, cards I reviewed, wrist and hand, stuff like that. So you can get really creative, like whatever helps you out. But I'll explain. So this is just going to be like how to make decks and how to make subdecks. So you just, we created our deck, and it's tutorial. It's at the bottom, and this is always in alphabetical order. So whenever you make a deck, you have to make it. And so we'll make a subdeck. We'll just call it A. And we click it. It's up there. Went up to the top. We drag it. So it's down there and it's main deck, subdeck. We have another deck. We can call this one Z. And it goes to the very bottom. But remember, even though it's at the bottom, you have to drag it into that main deck and put it in the subdeck. And so it's just that simple. You have your main deck and you have your subdecks. And there's all other features of this, like you can rename them. There's options, deleting them. Deleting them is no big deal. Like just delete, just like that. So I'm gonna start another video, but I think the thing with this is like if I click on another screen, it just doesn't record that anymore. So there's that. But yeah, you have main deck, sub deck. You can condense them, stuff like that. I'll get into other logistics in a sec. Well, actually, let me see if I can pull up like OneNote. Will it continue to record? Huh. I wonder if this is recording. I'm gonna keep going for a second because I'm gonna pull some stuff from biomechanics to see if I can like to show you kind of how I make cards, right? So let's say, and I'm actually gonna make some cards from stuff that I need to refresh on. Um, hmm. So okay. So let's say I want to make some cards, right? I click on my deck, then I click. So I've clicked it, and it says like, "Congratulations, you finished this deck." That's like what'll happen when there's no cards, or you've gone through all the cards. That rarely happens for me, but still. You can click Add, and then here we are. We're on the Add section. So for me to be like very efficient with Anki, I like to kind of do this little split screen thing. Oh crap! Where you drag your screens to the side, and you have like whatever you're looking at, like your study material, and then what you're typing in, right? So like, there's different ways of doing this, right? Hold on. I'm actually just gonna make another video.